What if you were a lady in Regency times, you had gotten another invitation to a ball, but your pin money was running out and you barely had not even 2 coins to rub together? Well, they were actually pretty smart in those times, and they had some very smart tricks up their sleeves to make their wardrobes last a little bit longer. Let me show you how they did it. Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video in the series on Regency sewing, and this time it is a more budget project. So as you know, I like to be economical with my costumes, and how did they do that back in Regency times if they had more parties than dresses and not enough money to keep buying new dresses? One of the ways they could do that was by using short sleeve spencers. And these are basically sort of bodices that they could wear over simple dresses. So for instance, my white gown like this is very simple, but you could pair it with all different kinds of spencers and make it look different every single night you have a party. So for this one, I did quite some research to find what different types of short spencers there were. I found a few fashion plates that actually show some of these, and I also found a very good example at the Met Museum, this one, and this is the one I'll be using as inspiration for mine. Now, the fabric for this jacket is actually going to be a fabric I've had lying around for about 5 years. I bought this in a very cute antique shop in Bath when I was there with friends, and it was always too small to make anything out of it, but short sleeve spencer is a great way to use up some small bits and pieces of pretty fabric that you have lying around. Now, the pattern for this short sleeve spencer will be in my Etsy shop, so go have a look there. You'll also be able to find the pattern for the dress, so you can make both of them and combine them in many different ways for many different parties. Now, there are a few techniques involved in this one, and I'll be showing you all of them. And I'm just really excited to get started. So let's get to cutting out the fabric and let's start sewing. Well, the mock-up is all done, so let's see how it looks. Now, obviously, my belly has grown a little bit, so I'm going to make some adjustments so it actually sits properly. So first, we're going to close it on the hook spot. So I can already tell the shoulders are a little bit too wide, so I'm going to make those a little bit less wide. Yeah, so a little bit more like this. See on the back. Back's actually not bad. Just a little bit. Okay. Now the front fits really good. I think the rest of the back fits really good. So the only thing I really need to do is adjust my waistline here, because my waistline for the dress is here because of my belly. So I'm going to fold that up first. And I think in my actual piece, I'll just fold this in more when I'm doing the hem, so I can actually adjust it when I'm not pregnant anymore and I can still wear it. So this already looks better because the back has a good length, so I'm going to keep that as is. And this will be the new. Yeah, and then minus the hem. Now, I already know the collar is going to fit me, so that is not going to be an issue. But I just had to make sure that this would line up properly. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. And if you imagine this in the actual fabric, it's going to look very pretty. So I can actually start cutting out in the real fabric after I've made the adjustments in the pattern. And I'm going to be reusing this as my lining, so I'm not wasting any fabric because it already fits really well. I'll just need to make small adjustments on the shoulder lines and on the front waist. But other than that, I'm very happy with it. So we can actually get to sewing. So let's get started with that. Okay, so now I have the bodice part and the upper fabric and the lining, and these two are going to be sewn together at the armholes, because that way I'm finishing the armholes before finishing everything else, because the rest is a lot easier than to get those armholes right. I'm going to decorate the jacket with a rouleau trim and also with piping, and I'll show you how I made those. It's actually quite easy, so have a look. In order to make the rouleau, I covered cotton cord and bias tape that match my fabric, and I've sewn this all closed by hand. In order to make the piping, all you do is you cover the cotton cord in bias tape, fold it double, pin this in place, and then just sew this as close to the cotton cord as possible. So now that all the trim is all prepped and ready to go, I can finish up the jacket. I'm really looking forward to showing you the end result. I absolutely love this fabric. So let's get to work and let's get this thing finished. So after you've made the piping, you can make the collar. And in order to do that, we're going to pin the piping on the collar like this, all the way around, so that when you sew on the other piece of the collar, you end up with the piping nice and in between. So I'm going to be pinning all of this, and then I'm going to sew it using a zipper foot so I can sew as closely to the piping as possible. So looking forward to seeing the result. Okay, now I'm also going to need buttons, and I wanted to make fabric covered ones. So for that, I just have one of these sets, and they're pretty easy to use. So what you do is you cut out a circle of the fabric you want. And the package always gives a template for how large they need to be. Okay, put this on top, and then press this one in here. Now I always get my finger stuck in that, so use a little helper. Okay, and you put all your fabric inwards like this, and then we put the top on, and then give this a good whack with a hammer. I've tried to do it by hand, but I prefer doing it with a hammer on a solid surface. And that is how you make these fabric cover buttons. Well, as you can see, the sleeve dispenser is almost done, but I have some small adjustments to make. I was planning on doing the original rouleau that was in the example, but I've realized that I don't really like it on this fabric. I feel like it's a waste of the pretty fabric, so I'm not going to do that. But I am just going to stick to my pretty homemade buttons. Let's see. And then I just need to add some hooks and eyes on the inside, and then the jacket's all done. So I'm on the home stretch. Let's see. And the last one. like this. So the last thing I need to do is sew these on, do the hooks and eyes, and I've already pressed it nicely, and then I can actually try it on and show you what it looks like. So let's go finish the last bits and pieces, and then I'm ready to do the reveal. And the Sleeveless Spencer is all done. Ta-da! As you can see, it really brightens up this dress and it gives it a completely different look. Match it with like different ribbons in your hair, different accessories, and there are so many ways you can use this to jazz up your Regency wardrobe. Now the cool thing about this pattern is you can wear it with the collar, without the collar. You can change the neckline a little bit. It's a really good basic pattern to use in many different ways. So definitely don't forget to go check out the Etsy shop, see what other patterns are there, and who knows what else might catch your eye. And yeah, I'm very happy with this. I do feel that I need to make more of these, just because I have the trimming left that I didn't use on this one, so I can use it on a different one. And I really need to work on the rest of my to-do list because the baby is going to be here soon. So there's not that much time left for me to sew. So I need to get started on all of those projects that I still want to do. I already know it's probably only going to be 1 or 2 more projects. So I need to really get started on those. Well, I'm going to enjoy wearing this around the house as usual. And yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if there are other Regency garments you would like to see. And I will see you all in my next video.